RuskyED here with more truth and enlightenment, and with a lesson about a few plants in the Bedstraw family. More on this interesting family in a few moments, but in the meantime, carefully inspect the vocabulary words for this lesson.
RuskyED is his name, and speaking Russian is his game. If it is Russian you would like to know, then RuskyED is the place to go.
The Bedstraw family is also sometimes called the madder family, and sometimes even the coffee family. Since the coffee plant is in this family, the scientific name for this family is Rubiaceae, or Marenovые in Russian. Семейство Мареновые, одно из пяти крупнейших семейств растений, which means the madder family is one of the 5 largest plant families. The largest genus in this family is Gallium, or Podmarennik in Russian. And plants in this genus are informally known as bedstraw. Of course, words in Russian for bed are kровать and постель. The word for straw is soloma, and the word for hay is seno. And throwing a couple of those words into a sample sentence, we derive "Skat jest sena I spit na solomie," which means cattle eat hay and sleep on straw. It's worth noting that if we are talking about a straw used for drinking, we use the word solominka. The Red Book lists 4 endangered species from this family, and they are as follows. Krestovnica sentenisa. Crest, of course, means cross, and the common name in English for this genus is crosswort. Marina melovaya. The name Marina translates to madder, and melovaya is a form of melovoi, which means chalky, with melok meaning chalk. Marina gladkaya. The species name gladkaya is a form of gladki, which means smooth and probably refers to the smooth leaves of this plant. Marina reznachenka. The species name of this one is a little odd, and probably it was named after a botanist or government official somewhere. In English, Marina translates to rubia, and generally speaking, many species of rubia propagate mainly through underground stems, sometimes referred to as suckers. And speaking of suckers, there's a fellow you've probably heard of by the name of Volodymyr Zelensky. He is known to have uttered the words "Ya ne loch," which means "I am not a sucker." And just like Richard Nixon is famous for uttering "I am not a crook," in denial of the apparent truth of the situation he was involved in, the same sort of thing seems to be going on with Zelensky. The word loch, of course, means sucker, loser, fool, or dummy, all of which quite accurately characterize Zelensky. Incidentally, loch is also the Russian name for a plant known as the silverberry or oleaster. And now for a few of the nicknames Zelensky has earned. First on our list is narkokomanduishi, which means drug commander from the words drug addict and commander-in-chief. Nickname number 2 is pianist, which means the pianist, and resulted from a lame joke Zelensky told about playing the piano. Next up in the 3rd position on our list is Zoloni, and besides being the name of the color green, means inexperienced, immature, or naive. Additionally, zelen means greens, as in leafy vegetables such as parsley and dill. Interestingly, parsley and dill translate to petrushka and ukrop. And even more interestingly, petrushka also means hand puppet, and ukrop is a nickname for Ukraine, since the first 3 letters of ukrop match Ukraina, which means Ukraine. Russians consider Zelensky to be a puppet under the control of the USA and NATO, and so this use of petrushka makes sense. It's also worth mentioning that petrushka can also mean foolishness or absurdity, and hence the phrase strana gidze ukropam upravlayat petrushka, which literally means a country where dill is ruled by parsley, and which can be understood as meaning a country where Ukraine is ruled by an idiot. Another nickname for Zelensky is Zay, which is a parody of the name for Che as in Che Guevara, the communist revolutionary from Argentina. Moving on to nickname number 5, we have Zelabobik, which is a common word referring to a stray dog, but is also a word for a despised man who fulfills errands for corrupt wealthy individuals. Zelensky fulfills the will of the pro-American oligarchs, and so he is seen as their mutt. And finally we have Yanilo, which is derived from Yanelo, as previously mentioned. And that's about it for this lesson. RuskyED, signing out now. Das Vidanya! Zelabobik.